The Industrial Revolution was the transition to new manufacturing processes in the period from about 1760 to sometime between 1820 and 1840. This transition included going from hand production methods to machines, new chemical manufacturing and iron production processes, improved efficiency of water power, the increasing use of steam power, the development of machine tools and the rise of the factory system. Textiles were the dominant industry of the Industrial Revolution in terms of employment, value of output and capital invested. The textile industry was also the first to use modern production methods. The Industrial Revolution began in Great Britain and most of the important technological innovations were British. The Industrial Revolution marks a major turning point in history. Almost every aspect of daily life was influenced in some way. In particular, average income and population began to exhibit unprecedented sustained growth. Some economists say that the major impact of the Industrial Revolution was that the standard of living for the general population began to increase consistently for the first time in history, although others have said that it did not begin to meaningfully improve until the late 19th and 20th centuries. At approximately the same time the Industrial Revolution was occurring, Britain was undergoing an agricultural revolution, which also helped to improve living standards and provided surplus labor available for industry. Mechanized textile production spread from Great Britain to continental Europe in the early 19th century, with important centers of textiles, iron and coal emerging in Belgium, and later in France. Since then industrialization has spread throughout much of the world. The precise start and end of the Industrial Revolution is still debated among historians, as is the pace of economic and social changes. GDP per capita was broadly stable before the Industrial Revolution and the emergence of the modern capitalist economy. While the Industrial Revolution began an era of per capita economic growth in capitalist economies, economic historians are in agreement that the onset of the Industrial Revolution is the most important event in the history of humanity since the domestication of animals and plants. The first Industrial Revolution evolved into the Second Industrial Revolution in the transition years between 1840 and 1870, when technological and economic progress continued with the increasing adoption of steam transport, the large-scale manufacture of machine tools and the increasing use of machinery in steam-powered factories. Etymology. The earliest recorded use of the term Industrial Revolution seems to have been in a letter from the 6th of July 1799 written by French envoy Louis Guillaume, announcing that France had entered the race to industrialize. In his 1976 book Keywords, The Vocabulary of Culture and Society, Raymond Williams states in the entry for Industry, the idea of a new social order based on major industrial change was clear in Southern between 1811 and 1818, and was implicit as early as Blake in the early 1790s and Wordsworth at the turn of the century. The term Industrial Revolution applied to technological change was becoming more common by the late 1830s, as in Jerome Adolphe Blanqui's description in 1837 of La Révolution industrielle. Friedrich Engels in The Condition of the Working Class in England in 1844 spoke of an industrial revolution, a revolution which at the same time changed the whole of civil society. However, although Engels wrote in the 1840s, his book was not translated into English until the late 1800s, and his expression did not enter everyday language until then. Credit for popularizing the term may be given to Arnold Toynbee, whose 1881 lectures gave a detailed account of the term. Some historians, such as John Clapham and Nicholas Crafts, have argued that the economic and social changes occurred gradually and the term revolution is a misnomer. This is still a subject of debate among historians.